I'm Seraphina, and today we are going to talk about something so serious right now. It's so serious. Pokémon. They are great. They can evolve. They're all sorts. They can fire, water, ice, grass, fairy, dragon, all sorts of types. But we got serious things to do before we start. Hello everyone and welcome to my podcast. You're listening to Seraphina Speaks Little Girl Big Questions, the show that delivers you my take on topics that are important. I'm your host, Seraphina Marlena Durbin. Let's go right ahead to the show. Hello everybody and welcome back to my podcast. Last episode I was talking about cake, but this episode is a little different. I'm already told you what I'm going to talk about. It's one of my favourite subjects. Pokémon. I really love Pokémon because I love discovering the characters. I like catching Pokémon too. Do you know anything about Pokémon? Let me tell you a bit about it. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, Pokémon are creatures of all shapes and sizes. Pokémon don't ever speak, except to say their own name. There are more than 700 creatures that live in the Pokémon universe. They're looked after by their owners that are called trainers. During their adventures, Pokémon grow, level up, and become more experienced, and even evolve into stronger Pokémon. I can't tell you how exciting it is when that happens. There are lots of different types of Pokémon, like fire, psychic, and dragon types. When you play Pokémon, you need to be strategic and think about what will work best in a situation so you can win the battle. The most famous Pokémon is Pikachu. Do you know who I mean? You've probably seen him. He's yellow, he has rosy red cheeks, and a tail like a lightning bolt. And there can also be girl Pikachus that have kind of a love heart shape on the tip of their tail. They are adorable. My biggest question about Pokémon is this. How do all these creatures live in one world together? They're all so different, yet they manage to get along, apart from battling. But that's more like a sport. It's got me thinking, why do people battle in our world? There's disagreements everywhere, whether to wear masks or not, whether the COVID-19 was all made up. Much more serious, how to make life equal for people with different skin colours. The world would be a much kinder and happier place if we understood that not everyone is going to look, sound or live the same way. And that's okay, because we can learn from each other, just like Pokémon. If you've not watched or played Pokémon before, why don't you have a look? Let me know what you think, or perhaps you're a big fan. Either way, I would love to hear from you. You can write to me at my email, seraphina@seraphinaspeaks.com. I hope you do. That's it for today, listeners. Oh, before I forget, I need to tell you about Dickie's birthday cake. We found a recipe online and made it for him. There was peanut butter, which I loved myself. I loved it. Peanut butter was my favourite bit. But I didn't eat the cake because it was made for Dickie. But there was banana, which Monty and Ray had to mash it. And egg and flour and don't forget the mashy. Sorry, I was going a bit silly there. Anyway, Dickie loved the cake. I'll put the recipe in the show notes in case you want to try it out for your little pooch. Don't forget, if you like my podcast, subscribe to get every episode. And please don't forget to tell your friends about Seraphina Speaks. See you next time. Lots of love, everyone. Bye. Wow, I hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. If you like what you hear, click the subscribe button. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to check the show notes. Leave me a review wherever you listen to your podcasts, because then more people can find my podcast.